You want a Chabad girl?
Many times I was considering it. I mean, especially if she knows Yiddish. Because I think Chabad is awesome. I think the mindset is definitely awesome in many ways. I might not agree with everything, but I think that there is a tremendous amount of like openness.
Chabad Heights is fantastic.
The energy is lit.
The energy is lit.
Yeah.
So we say lit? It's
Yeah.
lit.
How do you feel about Trump visiting the oil?
The mikvah talk is,
We're
very
excited.
happy that he came.
Yeah.
We're excited if anybody comes, but it's not for our excitement. When you come to the oil, you're coming to the Rebbe. It's an intimate moment.
Yeah. You're a major foodie. So what's your favorite restaurant and what's your favorite food?
I don't have a favorite restaurant. I really don't.
It's like a child, right? Every restaurant.
I like it's wherever you go, you make it a good time, you know.
You've probably taken over your lifetime thousands of flights. What was the scariest experience you ever had?
There's the experience of once where I thought the plane was going to crash.
Like literally?
Like it was shaking and I thought the thing, but that wasn't the scariest time. The scariest, that wasn't the scariest thing. Because there was one time.
Welcome to another episode of Positivity. Today I have the honor and help me welcome the Honorable Yankie Markowitz, Rabbi Yankie Markowitz. I always call him. He always says, "Don't call him Rabbi," but but for me, right? I call it Chushavida. I say Rabbi. That's the me.
100%.
And a Rabbi is somebody that teaches stuff so that I can be a Talmud. And in many ways, I feel like you taught me a lot of lessons.
So you're a Talmud.
And I feel like a Talmud. I feel like. And me and Yankie go back.
So if you have a podcast teaching people things or trying to help people with something and helping them learn about another specific topic, that makes you also a teacher.
Yes.
So the Talmud becomes the teacher.
Right. And I would say that V'gisa bo yom v'laylu is this is what it means, to learn something. And for some people that means learning the Torah, but I think that what God wants, what Hashem wants, is for us to learn new things. So when we're having this conversation and we're sharing valuable things, people learn stuff. Or they can learn a lesson just by...
find out how valuable it is.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but even just by seeing sometimes humility or sometimes seeing the chesed, or we're going to talk about what you do in this house, that alone can be the biggest lesson, the biggest inspiration. They can say, oh, I heard on the podcast with Yankie Markowitz that he's going to have 40 people on the first night of Sikkos. I also want to be that way. And then it's an inspiration. And these, people, things register.
Shout out, check out these new glasses, these new mugs. What do we call these? What is this called?
It's a tumbler, but I call it a positivity cup. And
this thing prevents from falling, like it doesn't flip over?
It holds it either cold or it holds it like, or hot. It's hot or cold. It's stainless steel on the outside.
So I didn't need ice.
Technically no, but the ice will stay ice for a very long time, basically. You'll notice the ice stay there probably till the end of the podcast or longer.
We're going to find out.
Yeah. So I'm in the middle of your introduction, by the way, so I'm just saying.
All right.
No, that's okay. Feel free.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is perfect, by the way.
Listen.
You're making this much more fun than I
You're very casual.
Yeah, it is. It is very
exactly
casual.
how it is. Ellie called me.
Yes.
Says you're available for a podcast.
Yeah.
I said, not really. I'm in the middle of building the sukkah. Said, how about afterwards? I said, I could try to move something around.
Right.
I'm like, okay. I said, I'll let you know soon. But like, you think in your head, you'll let him know soon.
Soon.
He's
literally
last minute,
No, I told Shmuley in the car, I said, I'm going to call him back because I want to show him that this time I'm really serious.
Yeah.
Because I asked, we went back and forth probably 10 or 15 times. Every time I message you, you're either overseas or somewhere in another country or state doing loans and promoting SBA loans.
Trying.
Right. And you asked me a few times, are you like last minute with everybody? And I said, I am.
No, I said, am I the last resort? It's like when everybody else cancels on you.
That's what you meant?
Let's see what Yankee's doing tonight.
No, not at all. And I told him not at all, but I said, you are the busiest person from all the people that I did ask. Because I had a few people like this that I asked them 2, 3, 4 times. Are you available today?
That day, whenever you ask them, right, it's that day they're available.
I'll tell you why, because I'm very raw. I'm very in the moment. We're taking this 2 nights before Sikkos, and we're going to put it out on Sikkos. That's
2 nights before. It doesn't even seem. I know it's this week. It's like
right. So I am always in the moment. So for me, if I schedule a podcast next week, I don't know how I'm going to. Sometimes I do schedule it later out, but I try to keep my schedule usually light and fluffy, and then just take it as it is. So yeah.
Product placement.
But yeah, perfect. And it doesn't really spill that much.
Well, like,
just a
what do you
little
mean that
bit.
much? If it spills, we have a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, finish your introduction. I keep interrupting.
So the introduction is that about 2 years ago, I met Yankie at a show, and he was one of the speakers. And immediately when I saw Yankie, as most of you recognize him, I also recognized him, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Like, it's so nice to meet you finally in person. And he's like, oh, it's so nice to meet you too. And he's like, and I see, he's like walking a little bit back and forth. And he's like, yeah, I'm going up to be on the panel now in 2 minutes. And I'm like, wow, so how are you so calm? He said, like, what do you mean? Like, what's there to be nervous about? So the first
I wasn't talking about Gemara. I was talking about a topic that I know.
Okay. The first impression that I got from Yankie is that he's a very calm person. And Yankie is a Lubavitcher Chassid, and he's a successful businessman, a CEO, an entrepreneur, who does multiple different business ideas, who is mekadev many people both in his house and in general, many people that I know you do a lot of chesed. And you're always here to help any person. Your number is available out to the public, and you take every single call. Anybody that wants to call with any kind of problem, whether it's a loan or it's just ask if they can come here for a meal. So it's with great honor that I invite Yankie, my good friend, to the podcast to have a conversation with him. Thank you, Yankie, for doing this.
It's a pleasure to be here in my home.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for inviting me.
So the first thing I have is a question. Are you finished the introduction?
Yes.
It was a very nice introduction. Thank you very much. I think it was a little bit more kind than it should have been, but thank you. This sweatshirt does what exactly?
So
the sweatshirt, I want people to...
Okay, now I'm helping you.
You're wearing a sweatshirt that has short sleeves.
Right.
It's almost like the gloves with the holes for your fingers, right?
No, that's a great question, actually. I'll tell you. So
it's like an invisible scarf.
Right. So there's 2 answers I'll give you. Number 1, it's meant for when the weather is like it's outside now, like 50,
freezing.
50-ish, right? So it's not freezing to the level where you're like freezing, but it's coolish.
Right.
So
I just want to mention, I offered, let's do the podcast in the sukkah. This warm sweatshirt was probably like my sweatshirt.
Yeah.
This warm sweatshirt would keep us warm. No, it's better inside, because it's for this weather.
Yeah, so that's basically the reason. That's 1. But 2 is because I love hoodies. Like I enjoy the idea of a hood.
You wear a hood?
Yeah,
you ever
sometimes.
Use this part? Because most people don't. I never do.
Yeah, I sometimes do. If it gets cool and my face is cool, or I just go into a place I don't want anyone to recognize me. Not that this does much, but it's cozy. That's what I'm trying to say.
You have that problem
The fabric and this is cozy. I do have that problem. I would ask you, how do you deal with the problem?
I don't.
You always say that it's not a problem, I'm not famous, but at the end of the day, people know you, and you don't always have patience to that person that's going to come over and say, hey, where are you from again? And then you have to sometimes, it gets annoying. So how do you approach people?
Or does it? When it happens to me, I appreciate it because that means someone saw me somewhere, or saw the advertisement, which means whatever money, those advertisements are not free.
Right.
So the fact that you're spending money and someone recognizes you, then, so for me, it's a compliment. I'm worthy enough to be recognizable, and I'm happy that my advertisements are working.
Right.
So yes, sometimes when you're at a red light and a guy rolls down the window and it's like, and people are starting to beep, and he's, one question, have an EIDL loan, and you go into that rant. But for the most part, I'm very happy if someone recognizes me.
Right, it means that it's working.
What I'm doing is working.
Right. I once heard from the Goyish, I think from Shaquille O'Neal, right, the baseball player?
Yeah, he's a basketball player.
Basketball player, yeah. So you're saying...
no, you said it with such confidence, I didn't want to correct you, but...
Yeah, no problem, so you could, absolutely.
I will.
So he was saying that somebody asked him the same question. How do you have patience? You go out there and people meet you. How do you have patience? He said, it's very simple. If I don't have patience, I simply don't go out. I understand that part of my identity is that when I walk the streets, people will see me. And it's not just that people will come over, you know it. When you walk on the street, Yankie, people see you, they feel like they won the lottery. It's like, oh my God, that's the guy, right? They're like, this is my lucky day.
It's true. I think it's a good feeling.
So
I mean,
it
Shaquille
is.
O'Neal happens to be like 7'2" or something. So if he was walking around, if he wasn't Shaquille O'Neal and he was 7'2", people would still stop and stare. It's not like he wouldn't get noticed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Travel, because this can be fun.
Yeah. You like to travel?
So it's an interesting question. The idea of travel sounds to me fun, but it does get like under my skin. It does, scare me a little bit. It gives me a little bit of anxiety, like going somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to be, who I'm going to meet.
So I was speaking to my friend.
I like to be home. Home is my comfort zone. It's my safe zone, and that's not so good. I understand.
It's very good.
But I'm expanding.
Want to be
I'm trying.
Everybody wants to be home, but the travel. If you're going to travel for leisure, then adrab. It's always it's fun. The way I just speaking to a friend of mine. He asked me if I'm going for Sukkot to Eretz Yisrael, and I said no. I like to go for Pesach. Sukkot, I love to be in Crown Heights. Crown Heights is fantastic.
The
Sukkot,
energy,
I'll
it's
say
lit.
The energy is lit. So we say lit. It's lit. Crown Heights has an energy in Tishrei that you don't find anywhere. Anywhere. And I've been in Israel, I've been to South Africa, I've been to Australia, and on Sukkot we have Talucha in Lubavitch. I don't know if they do that in Tom's River.
What's Talucha?
Talucha is something the Rebbe instituted in the early years, where we go out to different neighborhoods. People walk to the Bronx. People walk to Manhattan. People walk to Queens. People walk to Williamsburg, to Borough Park.
I remember seeing.
Yeah, so we walk to different communities, and we share the simcha together. In Yantif, you bring a simcha from us and a simcha from their communities, and we share it together, right? It says
it's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what's the lashon on Shalosh Hagolim? We say in the davening.
V'yamod l'fonayni.
No.
Raglayni.
No. It's the only Yantif that we say Chag HaSimchas, right?
Yeah.
We don't say that about Pesach. We don't say it about Shavuos.
Right. Simcha. This is all about Simcha. So I wanted to actually get into that.
Into what? Into Talucha?
Yeah, into the Talucha and into Chabad and how you approach it. We can go straight there. We'll
Sure.
come back to travel later. What is are you gonna?
No, but
so
the
why
travel,
do you bring it up? Because
No, we're talking about the he was talking about going away for Sukkot, so we segued into this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But I was bringing up, he can't, unless he goes via Reiche mentioned, he travels business class, and I go with my family. I sit in the regular seats, and I'm not saying it's easy.
Yeah.
But it's 12 hours.
Yeah.
Right? How many times have we been in a situation for 12 hours where whatever it is, you can sit in traffic sometimes. Just for 4 hours to sit in traffic, and then you have to go and sit by a wedding you didn't want to go to, right? Or bar mitzvah, and it's over. After it's done with, we have a very short-term memory.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem, and you can see that with Shiva, Chas v'Shalom V'Aleinu, and you can see that with any tragedy, we forget things very quickly.
Yeah.
Our president, to be hopefully, he was tried to be assassinated twice.
Right.
You forget about it, right? Now you're going to speak about something else today.
You saw that?
I don't know if it was a third time yet, but
they met a guy with a gun.
With guns. These days, walk outside in any Yiddish neighborhood.
Yeah.
You feel somebody. It used to be a walkie-talkie. Now it's a
I wouldn't call it an attempt.
22.
You're saying.
It could be. It wasn't an attempt. Yeah, it could be. It was a possible attempt. Right. That they let him go, but that's California. Whatever. Point is, we forget these things. So, the bad part of the travel, you hopefully forget. You won't forget, but you move past that and focus on the good part of what you're doing there.
Right.
I think
for me, it was more like a mental blockage from before going. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's too much unknown. Fear. Yeah.
Right? There's nothing to fear.
Right.
Itself.
For me, it used to be way too much fear. Now I'm more open to it, but it used to be way too much fear. Like I'm not going to have anybody there. I'm not going to have my friends, my family.
That's the best.
But
you go and you meet the new people.
Right. So you have to be really open. I have to really, What is when you mentioned what's the beauty of Talucha? Are you actually going, or how do you?
Do I go?
Yeah. Now, why
Sure.
do you even? So where are you going?
So years I've gone to Williamsburg. I used to go to the Brother Rebbe. I don't know if you know.
Oh wow.
At the Heschel.
And I'm saying you're bringing it up because you see them go, or you bring it up because you're actually going to go, or something like
I
that.
didn't remember why we brought up Talucha.
No,
It
you were
became a
saying
thing.
that it's very nice to be in Crown
Oh,
Heights.
because of the Simcha here.
Because
Like,
of the
Talucha
Talucha.
is part of Simcha. Sure, I go.
Where do
go
you
up to
get to
Simcha.
see it when you're home here?
What do you mean we walk? We walk. You have
So you're
hundreds, you
also
have
going to
thousands
walk?
of people. Of course,
This year?
this year.
Okay, where are you walking
I'm
to?
going to walk to Windsor Terrace or to Williamsburg. I don't know yet.
How far a walk is Williamsburg?
Williamsburg is about an hour and 25 minutes, depending on where it
Really?
is.
So that's a 3-4 mile walk
It's a
each
three,
way.
It's a three. Yeah, it depends where you go. Williamsburg and Einhard is also big today,
Right.
right? If you're going to Division or if you're going to the.
So you're walking there and you're obviously coming back, or you're
Yeah.
going Shabbos and
Now you sound like some of the jokes they make.
no way.
You go an Uber back.
Like here in Chabad, everybody makes that joke.
I was once, so
No, I'm meaning if you go Shabbos afternoon, but Shabbos is
no, you don't go Shabbos afternoon. We go on
Dafka second day Yom Tov.
Shmini Atzeres.
So if it's not so if it's
Whenever
if
it
it's
is.
not Shabbat this year, it's 3-day
This
Yom
year
Tov.
it's
But
gonna
if
be
it's
on-
not, then
No,
you can
this,
stay
it's
over.
always the same day. Oh, you could stay over. I was once, twice, happened to end up being on Talucha. I walked to Manhattan.
Okay.
So my Zayda was in the hospital. One year he was in Mount Sinai.
Yeah.
So that's on 100, and it goes a little bit further, but I was on West 100th Street.
Okay.
And so we walked there, and we took shifts in the family. So I walked there, and I walked back, and I wore the wrong shoes. I wore shoes like this, both shoes.
My God.
It was torture. It should have taken about 4 hours and change. It took me 6 hours.
The
And
total trip?
The total trip? No, to go there, one way. I walked back. The walk back killed me. It was hot. It was on Pesach. It was on Pesach. We do it Pesach, we do it Shavuos, we do it on Shmini Atzeres. And as I was walking back, a mamish oiske killed.
Yeah.
I'm on Bleecker Street. And driving, you get to know your way around. I was walking, I didn't know how to walk to the bridge, and I had to take the Williamsburg Bridge, and I could walk through Williamsburg.
Yeah.
And I didn't know so many people in Williamsburg at the time, or where they lived. It would have been nice to stop in and take a drink.
Yeah.
And I'm walking, and it's Pesach. And a guy and I was wearing shoes, it's called boat shoes. So a guy tells me, and I was coming from Mount Sinai, and I don't know if he saw, Hashem sent me this malach. And he tells me, and he's eating Chinese food from a Chinese stand near there, and he tells me, when the Jews left Egypt, they also wore boat shoes? So I said, no, but when they left Mount Sinai, they did. He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. That's where I'm coming from. You just walked from Mount Sinai? He's like, yeah. He goes, oh, I would have walked with you. I'm like, what's your name? He tells me, Robert or something. I said, what's your name? He tells me, Shmuley. I said, Shmuley. So where'd you grow up? He grew up in Minnesota and moved here. And before you know it, he's starting to walk with me. And I said, you know it's Pesach? He goes, yeah, I know, it's Pesach. I know. I said, where do you live? He tells me in Williamsburg. I'm like, so do you know how to get to the bridge? And he showed me how to get to the bridge. He ended up walking back with me from Bleecker all the way to Crown Heights, came to my house for the Suda.
Wow.
Yeah, came to my house for the Suda, kept in touch after Pesach a little bit, put on tefillin, etc. And he moved somewhere weird, I don't know. He was an interesting guy.
Wow.
But from that opportunity, I was able to bring a Yid in to have a Yom Tov meal.
Right.
Beautiful. He had matzah that night.
Right. I think that's also one of the things that Chabad people respect is if with inviting people, even though they will come with a car. I think this is a controversial
Well,
topic.
he walked with me.
Right, now I understand. But
You don't invite somebody who's coming with a car.
so you're
Right,
allowed. I just asked the
wanna
Shala. You're allowed to have them for Yom Tov, but you don't invite. That's what Meir
We
told me.
will have them for Yom Tov
Yeah, basically.
or Shabbos.
Right.
And if they come with a car that's their own prerogative, I don't have to stand there
You're
and
gonna-
look at the car or see
Right.
the car, and it could be they walked.
Yeah, you just know that they can come.
I walked from Mount Sinai. It's very easy for this person to walk from Williamsburg.
Right.
In fact, many times you ever walk around your house on the phone for an hour.
Yeah,
you're just
exactly.
walking
You don't
around for-
realize, right?
It's the same.
Why don't you wear sneakers when you walk the talucha? This year, if you're going to Williamsburg, you're also gonna wear.
So again, that was a mistake.
Yeah, okay, no, but today.
And I figured I was wearing my setuk, my kapata and my
Okay.
hat, and
Right,
I didn't want to walk with sneakers. I didn't have black sneakers at the time, so I
right, you
wore
didn't feel
shoes.
you want to
So-
be classy.
No, I didn't want to Fashem the Yontif. Now
Right.
I have black sneakers, so now I can wear
Right.
black sneakers. You won't know the difference.
Wow.
But if you walk with white sneakers and you see someone walk
Right.
with white sneakers, I didn't want to.
So every
make a
Yontif,
Chil
there's
Hashem.
many groups that go out to Borough Park, Williamsburg, Bronx.
Bronx,
How far is
Queens, the Bronx?
Bronx and
The Bronx
Queens,
is probably a good 4-hour, 5-hour walk.
4 hour
If
each
you walk
way.
each way.
How do people do this? 4 or 5 hours means.
I'm not those people. I can't tell
Uh-huh.
you. I was walking. So one year, another year, my Zayda was in the hospital. It was same year, but it was on Sukkot, and I was walking. So I walked to Williamsburg. I went to a few friends' house. I had the Suda. I did Hakafas in Williamsburg, and I went to another shul along the way till you get to the bridge. I get across the bridge, and I see people are coming back because I was going to do the night shift. I was on 34th Street by NYU. My Zayda was there, and I was going to spend the night there and come back the next day when my cousin would take over. So I was walking back, and as I'm walking, I'm seeing people coming back. This is already 11, 12 o'clock
Yeah.
at night. People are coming back from the Upper West Side, Upper East Side,
Yeah.
the Bronx, literally.
Okay.
And then I got to the hospital about 11:30. Went upstairs. I checked in with my Zayda. My cousin went back, and then I bring with my Zayda a little bit, and fell asleep. I went downstairs for a cigarette, and I see some more Yidden, some more
Wow.
Lubavitchers walking back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive. I think it's just insane. I'm trying to think about how these people walk so much.
Some of them are insane. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
But
wow.
it's far. So Windsor Terrace is not that far. It's 45 minutes, maybe an
Oh,
hour
okay.
or so.
So who organizes the groups and how do people know it? You're going to Williamsburg, for example. Where are you
So
meeting?
if I go to
Is there-
Williamsburg,
there
first of all, you
setup?
go to any shul. No setup. You just go to a shul. Of course, I have friends who are so inviting, and they all invite me. Come if you're coming, please come. Have a bite to eat. Have the suda
Where?
with us.
In Windsor?
In Windsor there's a shliach.
Yeah.
In Windsor Terrace there's a shliach. It's my cousin.
So if you're walking to
Rabbi
Windsor,
Moshe
you
Hack,
have
the
a way to
Moshe
make a
Hack.
stop, sit, and
No,
come
I
back.
go there by Windsor Terrace. We go there. We do hakafas there. They close off the street. The police are
Yeah.
amazing. Close off the street. The whole community, the whole neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
From not from, come out.
Yeah.
They do a mamash full of hakafas with a kiddush and
Right.
chayim and nachal chayim and nachal kiddush and nachal chayim, and then we come back.
Right.
And we finish the hakafas. Then you come back here. We go to 770. You have a chance to kiss the Rebbe's Torah. You dance with other chassidim. We're
Right.
dancing the whole night. Over here, it's lively, man.
Right.
It's lit.
No, it is.
It's
It really
very,
is.
very exciting.
But the groups that go out to Bronx,
They go
Williamsburg, do
to-
they meet by the
I
shul?
don't know
They
if
have a station.
There's shluchim there, and there's shuls there. There's shuls. In Williamsburg, I'm not set. I could tell the brother Rebbe, for example, that I'm coming, or not. He's more than happy to take you. You walk to any shul, they're more than happy for you to come inside, dance a little. They know who we are. They know you're here to spread the
Oh, the
simcha.
idea is to dance, but
idea
you're
is
also
to
singing on the
share
way usually.
The Yom Tif and share simcha and share encouragement
Right.
with other Yidden.
Right. Wow. That's inspiring.
Mi ka'amchi Yisrael.
Yeah. Right. And also you guys have Simchas Bais Shaiva, music,
Simchas
Chalamoid.
B'Shaiv is here.
So that's
Not only
a highlight.
Not only Chalamoid. If you come
Yom
day
Tov
one,
itself.
Yom Tif itself.
There's without
Yeah.
music,
Without
but
music, with singing and dancing, singing.
Right.
Dance till 6 o'clock in the morning.
right, that is known, right? Like you have
That
the whole
is
world
known.
coming to see.
Inside the goyim, inside you didn't know
Yeah,
it's
wow.
happening. Yeah, people come. Look, it says you should see the joy.
Such a
Right?
Kiddush Hashem.
See the joy.
Yeah,
Based
right,
on
right,
this,
right,
they would
right.
take the water at night.
Yeah,
You have to see it.
yeah,
What does it mean? How can you see? You see it physically, just like you said. You see your face in the ad,
right.
right? They know they know what's happening. They know it's a real
Yeah.
person. You come and see the simcha.
How do you feel about Trump visiting the oil? I know when I saw it, I was touched by it. I was like, wow, that's a nice thing. Because I know I went to the oil. This is my oil story if you want to
Yeah,
hear,
I'm
okay?
listening.
Listen to this. I went to the oil for the first time, wrote a kvittel, said Tehillim, and it felt very spiritual for me. I had a nice time. I drive back, I'm alone in the car, I'm on the BQE, and I'm going 75, and a cop pulls me over. She comes out, she's not happy, and she tells me, "Sir, you're going 75 miles an hour." And I'm like, so sorry, I just didn't realize. And I said, I tell her it's the first time I'm getting a ticket. So, yeah. Okay, let me see your license. I give it to her. She goes back to the car. And I tell myself, look, I'm coming out from the oil. There's gotta, everything overflows, right? Everything, you have reaction, what's the word? Cause and
Action.
effect, right? Action,
For every
reaction.
action, there's an equal
Yeah,
reaction.
and I'm just sitting in the car. I'm just imagining the feeling of just not getting a ticket. She comes out. She says, "Sir, this is not the first time you're getting pulled over. I see you were pulled on the Staten Island Expressway. I see you got a ticket on this other highway. Nowhere in New York City is the speed limit 75. Clearly, you have a speeding problem. Get out of here." And she hands me over the paper, and I'm looking through it. I see my registration, I see my license. I don't see the ticket, because she's like yelling at me. She told me, "Don't lie to me." I'm like, she's clearly upset, and there was no ticket. So I said, "Thank you, Rebbe," and now I'm a full-blown chussid for real,
All
But so,
right.
how did you feel about Trump visiting the oil?
I don't know if he went to visit the oil as specifically to visit the oil. I think
Right.
he wanted to pay respect for October 7th for
Okay.
the victims, and he figured, where is there a holy place in
Right.
New York? I guess somewhere local where he could go to pay his respects, and he came to the oil.
Right.
In terms of which part of that, the fact that he looks at the oil as a place
Yeah.
of religious substance, I think it's quite obvious. Am I happy that he does it? Sure, everybody
Right.
should realize. If he doesn't, what do I care
But
if he
Chabad
doesn't?
in general, like, what's the mikveh talk? You guys are. Was it like a moment for you guys? Was it like for me, it was. That's what I'm saying. For me, I was like, wow, nice.
His daughter came the last election to daven.
Right.
So it wasn't so. From the mikveh talk is,
We're
very
excited.
happy that he came.
Yeah.
We're excited if anybody comes, but it's not for our excitement. When you come
Right.
to the oil, you're coming to the Rebbe.
Right.
Let's call it our yechidus. It's an intimate moment,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
I understand it's Trump. You have to take pictures. When you went, I don't think anybody took pictures of you by the oil,
No, there's no pictures
right?
allowed.
So it's an intimate moment. It's for him and whatever he prayed for and discussed with the Rebbe. That's his
But he
business.
looked very emotional. I mean,
I saw one picture and
yeah. Wow.
I didn't care that much about it.
Yeah.
I'm happy he went. If he went to the Satmar Rebbe's Tzion, I'd be
Yeah.
just as happy.
Do you have a personal favorite oil story that you had for yourself that you want to share?
For myself, personally, a friend of mine, a client, he had a great one for me. He was in your situation. He was in the middle of shidduchim, and he was going out with a girl, and he couldn't make up his mind, and he wanted to move forward, and whatever reason he couldn't. And basically, she gave him an ultimatum. You got to decide, it's yes or no, it's going on too long.
Yeah.
So he said, let me think about it, and she's going to give him time. Let's say it was Tuesday. And he says, I want to answer before Shabbos. Came before Shabbos, goes up, says, I'm asking you one favor, give me till Sunday. He says, fine. On Friday night, he said he almost didn't go to shul. He was ois mensch for making this decision. He went to shul, and his friend saw him. He said, what's wrong with you? He told him what's going on. He said, so what? Go to the Rebbe, write a pan, and figure this out.
Yeah.
He said, right, that's it. The whole Shabbos, he made a chanas. Learned, woke up early, went to daven, didn't speak Lashon Hara, geht zum Rebbe, nein, Nachten Shabbos. Shmiti Shabbos came, boom, went into the car, didn't turn on his phone. That's shocking, right? Didn't turn on his phone. He had a mission, he's going straight. He went to Ohel, he sat down, he wrote his pan, he's in the zone. Writes the pan, everything, he goes inside, takes the minor lashon and goes inside, and his heart, he gave over his heart. And he's reading every word. He read his pan, finishes his pan, and he rips it up to put inside. He's standing in the Ohel for an hour, hour and a half. He was in a different world. And he puts up his pan, he finishes, and he picks his head up to leave. Right across from him is his wife, then his kala to be.
Wow.
She had no idea that he's going to be there. He had no idea that she's going to be there. Both came with the same machshava.
Right.
Both at the same time. They did not know each other were in the room.
Right.
They didn't know that they were there. He didn't see her.
Yeah.
He didn't see her. She didn't see him. When you walk, I don't know who was there. When you're there, you walk inside, you do your business. You're there for the Rebbe. Yes, just many times you're not there by yourself. You know, sometimes I used to go at 2:00 in the morning because there's a very rare chance that someone's going to be there, but there's always someone there. And he looked up, and
there she is.
There she is.
Wow.
That's one of I guess.
Beautiful.
Stories. Yeah.
So maybe I should go there. Maybe I'll find.
Should go there. I'm going to kill the story. There's another great story. A friend of mine, he's a Baba V'Chassid.
Okay.
I don't want to kill it so much. I don't know. I'm going to ask him for this. Maybe we'll do it on a different podcast to go through it. But short story is he was a Malamed at the time, and he used to go once a week to the Ohel. He was newly married, his Shana Rishayna, or second year, and his wife calls him and tells him, tonight we're going to my parents' house. And he's in the Ohel. By the Ohel, if you go outside the Ohel, anybody would know, there's a video of the Rebbe playing the whole time, different videos of different people coming, etc. And he comes out and he's watching, and his wife says, we're going to be by my parents tonight. It's no problem. We'll be there around 7. And then someone comes by the Rebbe for $, and he wants to give the Rebbe a pair of tefillin. Apparently a very famous sefer in Borough Park. I don't know the names, that's why I don't want to kill it. Whatever the reason is, the Rebbe did not want to accept it. And he tried to explain to the Rebbe how this pair of tefillin is so kosher, al pi Rabbeinu Tam, al pi Rashi. It's like 2 in 1.
Yeah.
And till he basically forced the Rebbe to tell him, I don't believe in this mahalach, I don't believe in this this pair, and thank you, it's not. The Rebbe would never accept gifts from people. If he did, he would pay for it. Fine, comes home, and Ishver's not there. Ishver comes late, and Ishver tells him a story that you'll never believe what happened to me today. He found out that he never davened with the pair of tefillin. There was a scandal of a sefer in his neighborhood that from when he was bar mitzvah, either there was no parshas, again, don't quote me on this story, but there was something wrong with his tefillin, that he needed a new pair of tefillin. Because these tefillin were puzzle.
Right.
And he pulls out his new pair of tefillin. The same pair the guy was trying to sell to the Rebbe. He says that's how it's kosher, and it's Rashi, Rabbeinu Tam, combined. And he realized this is why he was there. And his father-in-law was not a Lubavitcher Chassid. Tells him, Shver, I was by the Ohel, and this video, this is the sefer you got it from, right? He goes, yeah, how do you know? because he came to them, the Rebbe didn't accept it.
Right.
So we called up the Sefer and he asked him for a regular pair. And he tried to explain to him how this is the mess, the Mechuder Dike.
Yeah.
And he said no. So, that's another story that I happen
Right.
to like.
That he got the right pair of film because
Again,
his item saw it.
that day,
beautiful.
there's things that happen. I personally don't have a specific story like that happened to me.
Right. The question is, if I go to the Rebbe, if I'm going to get a Chabad girl, like is that, or can I get also from?
That I don't
Not
know. That I
Chabad.
don't think is. It's up to the Eibishter, right?
Yeah.
You want a Chabad girl?
Many times I was considering it. I mean, especially if she knows Yiddish. Yeah. Because I think Chabad is awesome. I think the mindset is definitely awesome in many ways. I might not agree with everything, but I think that there is a tremendous amount of like openness and open-mindedness.
I don't think anybody could argue with that.
Yeah, no, it's just nice. I mean, there's some things that are maybe controversial, or some things that no, meaning that the mainstream Hasidim have a little bit looser, I would say, in terms of their day-to-day life. But in many ways, the mindset, I think, of Chabad is there.
I was discussing, not this exactly, but similar different things about other Chassidim, how very curious, I don't want to say the other side of the fence,
Yeah.
but al Chassidim, we have different minhagim,
Yeah.
right? As an example, what time do you start davening Shacharis Yom Kippur?
Yeah.
What time?
For Hasidim,
Yeah.
average 9 o'clock, I would
Oh,
say.
9 o'clock? That's not so bad. I heard 8
Maybe
o'clock,
8 o'clock,
8:30.
Yeah.
Okay, by us it's 10 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
curious, you have different tefillas. I always wonder if in Sanach Toikef, is it the same Lashon? I don't know, right? Because when I go to Williamsburg for Talucha and I daven Ma'ariv, I don't have a Bavach Siddur.
Yeah.
So it's the Lashon is a little bit different. So I'm curious about different things in that, but
there's like certain frumkeit. By Hasidim, it's a little bit of all or nothing. I'm talking by the mainstream.
I don't know if it's all or nothing.
Hasidim, where I'm from, it's also.
I think.
So let's talk about somebody that modernizes, right? Let's say somebody becomes more modern. From where I'm from, when you're more modern, it's kind of like, okay, everything is good and accepted. I feel like in Chabad, they will also modernize, but yet stay very, I would say, spiritual and connected.
Chabad is
it's different.
Not that they will modernize. There are people who are more modern. Like you mentioned in your monologue in the beginning that Lubavitch Chassid, you try to be. I try to be. I'm not the example of what a Lubavitch Chassid should be. I'm not. I try to be. It's a progress that you're constantly trying to work on. Right? The famous story with Pinya Korf. And he was in court and they asked him, you're a religious Jew? Pinya Korf was a mashpia. He was unbelievably chassidish. And he said, I try to be. And that's the answer. If you are, then you're not doing the avodah.
Right.
Just that it is.
Yeah.
But there's different milas. If you look at, you want to call mainstream, so if you go to Satmar, the Gemilas Chasadim they have, the tzedakahs they have. It's unbelievable.
For me, it's more the mindset. I remember I had this podcast with Rabbi Manas Friedman.
Yeah.
And I was inspired the way that his approach, the way the way he was saying how Hashem waits for you, and Hashem, like all these concepts. Now I don't know. By the way, I don't know if he's even mainstream Chabad or if he's just one avenue.
Rabbi
of Chabad.
Manas Friedman is a legend.
Okay, just checking. And to me it was like, wow, is this what they teach in your schools? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, wow, okay, well that's definitely different than where I grew up.
So did you ask him that? And you ask him why is it?
I didn't ask him why it is that way. I just told him that it's interesting that it is that way. But then again, you can. I don't
Had
think I don't.
opportunity. What kind of interviewer are you?
I know why it's that way. I can answer the question.
Why?
Because the reason that it's that way is because it is unfortunately a lot easier to just follow a broken system rather than to have to go figure out for yourself God or spirituality or even Hasidim or even Hasidus. So that's what people will just choose to rather follow something that doesn't necessarily work or connect to them than having to go find it in their own words. God, when He sends us into this world, He makes us forget about everything. He wants us to recreate ourselves from the get-go. Now, most of us get put into certain programming with growing up, parents, teachers, and friends, right? But it's also our responsibility to figure out what really connects to us and how we are connected to the Torah or even religion. For most people, they don't want to go down that route. They just
The
say,
route of religion?
the route of figuring it out for themselves. So
I
they
think
say, I'll be a blind follower and I'll just do things even though I don't think that it works for me, or even though that it doesn't connect to necessarily what I believe in. I'm just gonna stay in a specific box. That's why I think it's corrupted in many ways. So
I think
yeah,
it's just there's someone that I learn with. You should maybe learn with also.
okay.
Good guy. His name's Shlomo Vovovsky. But you'll have good conversations. But maybe you should have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you. I don't necessarily agree with you. Just because you're right, there are some people that are just comfortable without any change and they don't want to explore. But if the person's happy, the expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Right? Now, as Lubavitch Chassidim, we believe everybody should learn Chassidus, and it's a very powerful tool to talk to your neshama,
Yeah.
to understand your neshama, connect you to your neshama. And then
Yeah.
it's always connected to Hashem. It's always connected there. But how do you strengthen that connection?
Right.
There's a great small book I started to read by Robert Kremnizer. It's on Shari B'tachin. It's a small book. You know the book?
No.
Oh. I think it's called Stairway to Serenity. I'll text you. But a great introduction, great thing about this is a book by Simon Jacobson, Towards a Meaningful Life. I can't tell you how many goyim I've met who've read it, and it's based on Chassidus. Wow. It's not unbelievable. People in the old days would think that if you're learning Chassidus, then you're a traitor and you have to throw rocks at that person. Today it's more accepted, obviously, and it's open to anybody.
Right.
I think everybody wants to feel good about themselves. I think everybody wants to have a drink in positivity, right? They want to, right?
Yeah.
So come drink from the fountain. The fountain is there.
Right.
You need, there is more than one way to learn.
Right.
And that's where I think the problem is in our education system, that some people we have to adjust. Doesn't mean to adjust and bend that this is acceptable. It's acceptable for now, until you're ready to move to the next thing.
Right.
Right? Not, you have to first crawl and then walk and then run and then do a marathon. Right? You can't just say, okay, I'm doing a marathon.
Right. Well,
that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? When somebody becomes a Baal Tshuva, it doesn't start. You have to think about that for a second. Somebody becomes a Baal Tshuva. Forget about the people who are never from and become from. How about the ones who are from, went off the derech and come back?
Right.
That takes a lot of. Think about it. They went because they ran away from this because this was, what was it? BS?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was they were uncomfortable with, and coming back, there's a reason, because they saw that they probably didn't work on themselves over here,
Right.
and this is the answer. This does have. It's to use the word for modern times, no anxiety, right? Or social anxiety, because it really doesn't exist. If you go to shul, think about it. You walk into shul, you go to Shabbos L'Chadoidi, go to Kesa, whatever songs you sing, everybody's sitting there and singing. If I ask you to sing the song right now, not you necessarily, but most people are embarrassed. But you come biyachad, achdus,
Right.
everybody together. It's
Right.
right. One heart, one soul, one spirit, one echad,
Right.
one nation.
Right. Well, I think that's beautiful. And even according to Rabbi Manos Friedman, what he mentioned is that today's Hasidim became kehillas, became groups that people follow either a leader or just different other people. They follow their neighbor. And I absolutely agree with that. I think that it's a little bit terrifying and it's very scary to understand that people are not really connected to what Hasidus originated and started off from. And if they were to really learn Hasidus, which I actually learn Hasidus every week, I see the beauty in it. I see the
There's a
acceptance.
shine lately to
Thank
you.
you.
I
Thank
thought
you.
it was the
Appreciate it.
camera, maybe you're doing
Yeah.
some camera
No,
tricks.
I definitely see the love and acceptance, but not in terms of kehillas. I'm not following a kehillah. I'm not following a certain people that made a set of rules. But anyway, I want to get into a few questions with you, Yankie,
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
rapid fire, because
Rapid fire.
we got into deep stuff over here. So random questions that I love to ask people that I bring
I
up.
thought you're coming to help me finish the sukkah.
The sukkah, yeah, we're getting to it right away. If you were to have to be a Chabad shliach in any place in the entire world, which means you have to move away from Crown Heights and just live there and be Mekad of people,
Yeah.
where would that be? Which country?
So, one, everybody can be a shliach wherever you are. You've seen me at shows. I have a pair of tefillin there. I have a yarmulke. I have tzedakah.
A box of
You start with
cash.
something. Yeah. So you could be a shliach wherever you go. You don't have to go somewhere. If I would choose, it's not about that. It's wherever they would send me. If you want to become a shliach,
What would be your preference?
doesn't matter what my preference is where they send you.
Wow. Okay. You're also into art. I'm going to keep this in the rapid fire section
Yeah.
because I can't get it. But what inspired you to start doing your own artwork and paintings and stuff like that? Are they even for purchase, by the way, or just for people to see?
Not yet.
If somebody wants to see it, where can they see it? You have
I don't
something,
have a website.
no?
No, I maybe posted a few on LinkedIn.
On
or a
LinkedIn,
few
maybe.
on,
Okay.
On
Right.
Instagram.
Okay.
What made me get into it? I just loved it. I loved it as a kid. As you can
But you're
see, I
really
have
good at
books.
it. I feel like it's not just that you're
I'm not good
like
at
doing stuff. I feel like in terms of making a picture, you're good at that.
I'm not as bad as maybe someone else, but I'm not good. I can tell you for myself. That doesn't mean art is subjective. You could love a piece of art that I may hate. Right?
Right.
That's sometimes you see. I remember my Zayd told me once he saw Picasso when he was younger, and he couldn't understand him. Is it that nose? Kommt raus von der Tachas? It didn't work for him. But for some people, they love it like crazy. You know what I mean? For some people.
Well, I feel like your art is very like old Haim, Haim
So
style.
every artist draws what they feel. I grew up in a Chassidish environment.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem.
Crown Heights.
In Crown Heights. I grew up in a family, my parents, my grandparents, my uncles, and the way of which I was raised was very much Achnas Zarchim, was very much being open to different people. And if you look at my art, you'll see all different types of people. It's not just only Chassidim.
Yeah.
But it's a mixture of them. If you come now in Crown Heights and I'll invite you to drive around, go in front of 770, there's 3,000 people who came in for Yontif. 3,000 Bachrim.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're here to spend Tishrei. They don't have a place to eat. I'm going to have quite a few over Yontif.
Wow.
Boys, girls. My father, for 43 years, is already feeding all these guests who come in. They don't have a place to eat. He was one of them. He comes from Eretz Yisrael. He's from Bnei Brak. And he has 2 trucks outside 770 with food. Give out food.
Really?
Yes.
Inspiring.
So all of that inspired me. And that's what you'll see. There's giving out food in my art. There's simcha.
Wow.
And that's what I like.
Now, Yankie Markowitz, most people don't know this, but I know it because we went out to eat multiple times already when you invited me. You're a major foodie. So what's your favorite restaurant and what's your favorite food?
I don't have a favorite restaurant. I really don't.
It's like a child, right? Every restaurant.
it's wherever you go, you
Yeah.
make it a good time, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd say most of the time it's about who you're with. It's not
Right.
about going to yourself.
Right.
Right? You don't see people sitting by themselves eating anything.
Right. How about a favorite
My
food?
favorite food, I'm very not prejudiced. I love everything. I like pizza. I like steak. I like hot dogs. But you know what? If I had to pick two, I love pizza and I love hot dogs.
Wow.
Those are
How
probably
about
my top two.
sourdough pizza? Are you into that? Because
I'm into
I
that.
feel like it's
I told you,
reinvented pizza
I'm
for
very
me.
not prejudiced. I love sourdough. I love Pizza Time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Pizza Time on Avenue J.
No, I haven't tried it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you gotta
good
go.
pizza?
Oh yeah.
What
I
makes a
think
good
he got
pizza?
8-1 or 8-3 on the what's his name scale. You know the guy.
Yeah.
Portnoy.
Yeah, Portland. He's
Yeah.
good. He's
Yeah.
Jewish also.
He is Jewish. That's
Chabad?
right. No.
Just
And one of the times he got there was a bacher put on the phone with him.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, he's
So-
good. He's very entertaining. I'm not sure
Favorite-
why, but I love watching his videos. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. You just want to see what the next one is.
Yeah,
And
it's addictive.
I'm sitting there thinking, why am I watching? I can't taste any of these pizzas
Yeah.
unless it's kosher. And I want to see if this
But
one's
it makes
good or not.
it makes you love pizza. That's it. He tasted
always
pizza
loved
time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What did he give it?
Over 8.
Really?
Yeah,
okay,
it's a
that's
big
a
number.
lot for him.
That's a big
Yeah,
number.
he's usually at the 6.
It's a
He's
big
usually
number.
at,
It's a big
Wow.
number. So pizza and hot dogs would be my two favorite.
yeah, really?
Yeah,
You
and
like
steak.
hot dogs?
I love everything. You don't get to be the size without.
No,
that.
you're doing great now.
Baruch Hashem. But tonight I had hot dog. Yesterday I
Wow.
had hot dog.
It's interesting.
Whenever I have opportunity,
yeah,
I'll take a hot
it
dog.
is. I also
I love
like. I
burgers.
had yesterday hot dogs.
I love
know.
chicken. I love
I
chicken
like
on
the
a bone.
Frankenblanks. They don't make me feel so
I don't
guilty.
like Frankenblanks.
Why?
I don't know.
I
It's
just
not
you
the same.
need the full
I need
experience.
the bun. I need to be able to put my ketchup, my mustard, my sauerkraut, my relish.
Yeah.
If there's some onion rings.
You've probably taken over your lifetime thousands of flights, and I
I don't know
wanted to
if it's
make
thousands, but definitely hundreds. Yes.
hundreds. What was the scariest experience you ever had?
Well, how much time do you have? There's the experience of once where I thought the plane was going to crash.
Like literally?
Like it was shaking, and I thought the thing, but that wasn't the scariest time. The scariest, that wasn't the scariest thing, because there was one time I was traveling to, it was Motzei Shabbos, and no, Sunday. It was a Sunday flight. 10 years ago, probably. And I don't know, I did not feel good on Shabbos. I hope I didn't move the mic.
No.
I did not feel good on Shabbos. And I had a pain over here.
Yeah.
But a few hours passed and I didn't die. So
Right.
I figured
Figured
it's
you're
not
fine,
it's
yeah.
not a heart attack. I'm fine. I'm not saying anything to anybody, because if I say anything to my wife, I'm going to the hospital.
Right.
And I'm missing this trip. The middle of the night, I wake up. I almost couldn't breathe. Took me a little bit of time. Or maybe it's gas. I don't.
Yeah.
Woke up in the morning, I was better. Still a little bit pain. I get onto the flight the next night. It's Sunday night. I'm in the flight, and we start going, and the pain gets more severe and more severe. And all of a sudden, your paranoia steps in, and everything. My
Anxiety.
arms. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I having a heart attack?
Right.
I don't want to matriach the whole plane here, but
Yeah,
am
yeah,
I having a heart attack? Hold on, let's make sure that. So I'm sitting there, and I turn to my partner and I tell him, I think I'm having a heart attack. I think then he started to have a heart attack, and I don't know what to do. So I go up to the flight attendant and I said, do you have any aspirin? Because I remember when I was a lifeguard or in a movie, you see that you take aspirin. Right? All of a sudden, everybody's a doctor. You watch 3 episodes of VR, you're a doctor. And I go, he says, oh, no. I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. I'm not sure, and I heard you're supposed to take. So he goes and he brings me what they do have, and it says non-aspirin on it. So like, this doesn't help. I said, maybe you could ask.
Are you flying already at this point?
We're in the air, baby.
Oh, okay.
We're halfway there.
Okay.
And I'm not describing well. I'm sweating. I can't breathe. My breaths are getting shorter. My arms killing me, whether it's real or not, it's killing me.
Right.
My chest is killing me. Pain. I said, maybe ask the crew, the
Yeah.
not the crew, the passengers. I don't know if we're allowed to make personal announcements. I'm like,
I'm dying here.
yeah. And then finally I couldn't take it. And I stood up and I said, I think it's time to ask the crew and maybe ask if there's a doctor on
Right.
the plane. Ironically, maybe a third of the flight was Yidden. They were going to a show in Vegas. At least a third of the flight was Yidden. There was not one Hatzalah member.
guy.
Not
Wow.
one.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And there's at least 30, 40 Yidden on the plane.
Right.
And he gets on the thing. He says, we have an emergency. Is there a doctor or any medical professional? A doctor comes and a firefighter or EMS guy comes, and one nudnik, right?
Yeah.
Didn't have a walkie-talkie. So he's in there. They have to get permission from ground control to open up the first aid kit. This is something that it takes like 10 minutes. That itself could kill somebody.
Yeah.
They take it out. He takes the stethoscope and he's checking me out. And I'm like, He's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with you.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh. So, and the flight attendant's on the phone with the pilot. Do we have to do emergency landing? And he's like, I don't think you have to do emergency landing. I said, so do we have to have EMS? Should we have EMS when we land? And he said, yeah. I said, why do I need EMS? He said, I'm fine.
Yeah.
He says, dude, we're 30,000 feet in the air. I have a $12 stethoscope. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, is there something wrong with me? Because I don't think so, but check it out. When we're down there, I don't think you have to do emergency landing. Okay. So
You probably felt better just from that.
No.
No, just from you didn't. You still felt the same.
We land. We're about, at this point, we're about an hour, 45 minutes away. All of a sudden, we're 11 minutes away. They got permission
Yeah.
to speed up the plane.
Oh, wow.
They cut off 30 minutes. We got there. They say, everybody, please stay in your seats. We have an emergency. Please let them off the plane. I wish I had your sweatshirt that I could go like this.
Right. It was embarrassing, yeah.
It says, let the guys come to the front of the plane. I was with my partner. I don't know if you've been to Vegas. That's the fastest airport for me.
Yeah.
You get there, chick-chack, you're off the plane.
Right.
So I run to the front of the plane. No, Kane is Zen, right? I don't want anybody to see who I am, like as if they don't know you already.
Right.
I get to the front of the plane, and the lights turn on. I'm standing there, and they can't open the door. You have 2 EMS guys. You have 2 firefighters there.
Yeah.
And they can't open the door. Sitting there for 3 minutes, which feels like 4 hours.
Right.
Get off the plane. You hear the guy? Yeah. Boom. We're going to check you? Yeah. The EMS is standing on the side. It's 2 women. And these are 2 firefighters. Yeah. They rip off my shirt in all its glory. And they start putting the patches.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. EKG. And I'm sitting there, I feel so bad for everybody on the plane. They're going to have to wait for me to finish this whole geschichte. Yeah. But no, they didn't have to wait. Everybody starts walking out.
While you're sitting at the door.
There like this with Alzendreusen. And of course, whoever didn't have opportunity to tell me on the plane, and I'm sitting there like, okay, this can't get worse.
Right.
They checked the EKG. Baruch Hashem, everything's good. I said, I could go? They said, this is not the greatest equipment.
You have to go to the hospital.
You should go to the hospital. Then why did you put on this equipment?
Right.
To see if... But then you'd have to rush me to the... Fine. I don't know if you ever had these things. They start ripping it off. I know you recently did the laser. This is...
Yeah, it's pretty painful.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Now they have to take me out. And the EMS doesn't take you until you get out of the airport. This is the whatchamacallit, the firefighters. And they take me, and I'm thinking, okay, I was embarrassed enough. What can I do? And I can't breathe. So I have an oxygen, and they have 4 people around me. I have no shirt. I'm being dragged around the airport like this on Nabach. It's not a good feeling. And they pull over to the elevator, and I'm like laying there like this. And I turn to this way. What's by the elevator? They decided to chop a minyan ma'ariv. So the whole ma'ariv is standing next to me.
Right,
I'm like the
watching
mechitza.
you pass it.
And I'm here, amen, amen. I get a few amens in.
Yeah.
And everybody getting refuah shlema. I get into the thing. They put on new patches.
Yeah.
And they do an EKG. They give me liquid nitrogen or nitrogen. They give me a shot. Tastes good. They tell me the machine is saying I'm good.
Wow.
I'm like, that's great. So I could just leave. This isn't the greatest machine.
Yeah.
So why are you doing this? I just did this. And they gave me a stress test. You ever did a stress test?
No.
So they try to kill you. They pump you with something. You have to run on a machine until you either have a heart attack or pretend. Yeah. Says they're overnight
in the hospital.
And they told me I'm fine. In the morning, I still felt the same.
Right.
And they said it's the first time I took an Uber from the hospital. I downloaded the app. I took an Uber.
Well, what do you usually do?
In Vegas, I take a taxi. I go downstairs. There's always taxis. Here's the hospital, an emergency room. I don't know. Right. I took an Uber. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I get to the hotel. I take a shower. I'm peeling off. I said, don't take this off. I'll take it off myself. I'm peeling slowly. I daven. I tell my wife I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I can't breathe, but what can I do? I go to sleep. Good 6 hours. I wake up completely fine. Nothing wrong with me. But that was my worst flight that I had.
So I'm trying to think, do you feel like that's all you needed,
By the
a
way,
good night's sleep?
The ice is still there.
Still there, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm just, you see, these type of stories give me the anxiety from flying, because I'm like, I don't want to be on a flight and then 3 hours in with 3 hours to go, I feel like I'm dying, and you go through that experience.
How
so this
about
is literally
20 hours to go to Australia.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like it's tough.
That's scary, but
it's scary. I'm
risk reward. Like, how often does it happen? How often do people?
What did you feel like? Why did you felt like it happened? Because you were exhausted? Or
I don't know what was wrong with me till today. I have no idea.
You still don't know.
I still don't know.
Right.
I still don't know. I've gone to the hospital a few times for that, where I thought I'm having a heart attack.
For the same pain?
For the same pain. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons that sparked me to go to a cardiologist. And Baruch Hashem, everything is good. Mm-hmm. But the pain comes there.
Right. It could be gas. It could very much be gas. And gas can feel like a heart attack. Or anxiety. But I don't know, you get anxiety from traveling? Like, does it make you nervous?
It wasn't, first of all, it wasn't from traveling. So I don't know that it was. Does anxiety it gets me nervous when we're late. I don't like, when people travel with me, I like to be there on time. Yeah. On time, I don't mean 3 hours before. My flights, I want to be there at least an hour before.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, I just learned 50% of people that go to the hospital for a heart attack, it's really an anxiety attack.
Really?
They're like nervous or something, and anxiety symptoms are the same as a heart attack. Your heart's racing, you feel sweaty, you feel tingling, you feel your chest gets tight.
Maybe.
So,
shouldn't they tell me that?
No, maybe.
They did send me a bill.
Sometimes they ask.
They sent me a nice bill.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
That's what?
You're from the 50%.
What's the 50%?
Who go to the hospital for the anxiety thing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it could happen. Wow. But when the plane shakes, that can also be very scary, because you sometimes feel like this plane is just going to
No, there was one time
swoosh
where it was
over,
shaking and up and down, and I was sitting by the wing, and I saw the thing shaking.
You were seeing the shaking.
And I wasn't so scared. That was I'm thinking, should I put on the seatbelt or not? What's easier for me to swim out? where am I?
Right.
What's going to be easier for me to get out of this plane?
Wow.
Right. I'm thinking, because if it
felt like it's going down.
If it crash lands, I'm a very strong swimmer, Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
All right. So
in
you
the middle
go for
of
a
the
swim.
Atlantic.
I'm more worried about my tefillin and my luggage that's underneath the plane. How do I find that? But in a way, it'd be cool. It wouldn't be one of those survivor stories.
Yeah.
No? Make a podcast
As long as you
afterwards.
survive, Yankee, that's all I care about.
Of course. Chas
Please
v'shalom.
survive.
It should never happen. It should
Yeah.
never happen. But I'm not as scared. I'm
Right.
not scared of flying. That stuff doesn't bother me. Um, boats, I could get boat sickness if it.
You ever did a cruise for a week?
No.
To me, it's paranoid to the next
Why?
level. I never did it, but I don't know.
I'd love to do it.
You would love, yeah?
Except they have it like once or twice.
What do you
a
do
year.
when you're on 3 hours of sleep? How do you, for me, it's like a death sentence.
I
It's
have,
like
I have a podcast with you.
yeah.
I was up 6:25
No, but you probably
this
do
morning.
it a lot. You probably work a lot of days on 3 hours of sleep or a
Yeah.
show, or you're talking about red eyes. You don't feel like you're sleeping during the day, sleepwalking.
If you do it for 2-3 days
Headache
in a
and-
row,
Right.
it catches up.
One
with you.
day you still have,
And then you have to conk out and get a good 6 to 8 hours.
wow.
But for one day, no. One day could do. You never not sleep 24 or 48 hours, 72 hours.
For me,
Yeah.
I always get my sleep.
Ah.
I'm just gonna tell it straight out. I learned this. Dr. Jordan Peterson, one of the biggest psychologists, you know him. He said that
Very well.
50%. Yeah.
No.
No, like from seeing him. He said that about 50% of the people that come to him, he sends them home for a good meal or a good night's sleep. And to me, that hit home. Because so many people that I talk to, or so many times for me, when I struggle in my life, I notice that all I need is a good night of sleep. And most people think a good night's sleep is 5-6 hours. It's not. It's 7-8 hours. For majority
I
of
don't get
people.
7-8 hours ever.
I understand. That's okay. People are built differently, by the way. It's okay. It could be that your 5-6 hours is enough. There's a small percentage that it works, but majority of people need 7-8 hours is recommended.
I could agree with you.
And if they don't sleep, it messes everything up. Your productivity, your anxiety goes up, your cortisol, everything gets not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying somebody's doing well. I'm saying for those who are not doing well,
No, I understand.
check your food intake and check, because when you don't eat, what happens is the body does this, it releases the same exact feelings and chemicals like an anxiety attack. So you're feeling anxiety for one reason you didn't eat, right? How many times do we have that? We're all nervous, we're having a lot of feelings come up, you eat a warm meal, and oh wow, it changes everything. I feel so different, right? Again, everybody, each on their own level and what they're going through in their life.
Right.
But eating healthy, eating itself and sleeping well is super important.
I agree.
Yankie, what's your message to the world? Final message. What would if you can talk now to the entire universe and give them one message?
We need to do whatever we can to bring Mashiach.
Right.
I think we now more than ever. I know it's been said many times in history, and we need to show support for our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael. And
Can I please interrupt and say that right when the war hit, a week later, or how many days later, Yankie was on the forefront in Israel,
It was,
and you went to
weeks
help
later.
out people. 2 weeks later, you were there in the camps, and you were helping out people, raising money, doing whatever you can. You were there, and I asked you, "Are you afraid?" You're like, "No, I want to be here now."
I should be
And you went a few times, no? I think you went twice or three. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have the opportunity to do it, I suggest you definitely do it. You went?
To Israel?
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever been to Eretz Yisrael?
Yeah. No,
You have a gun? You got a gun?
I learned, no. I learned in Israel for a year and a half, so I got the experience.
Where?
At Raisa in Yerushalayim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't like Eretz Yisrael?
Excuse me. I do. I like to visit it.
Fly on an airplane. That's why I asked.
Not afraid to fly. It's not comfortable for me to travel or to fly. I like my comfort zone.
Scared to fly.
Yeah, it could be. Could be scared. That's fine. I
Yeah,
understand.
it's fine.
You just gotta. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You should go do some podcasts, do some videos, speak to the people.
I know. Well, who's the most interesting person living now in Israel, in your opinion?
Just tons of interesting people living in Eretz Yisrael. Who's my most interesting? I don't have one. I respect every soldier, and to me, whenever I have opportunity to talk to any of them, not even before the war. Where you from? How you doing? Thank you for your service. Over here as well, every police officer, every veteran.
You'd make a good general.
Make a good general,
Yeah.
could be, but to me, you find, just like you say positivity, right? I love you, you love yourself, enjoy the coffee, whatever it is you're saying,
Yeah.
right? So people need to hear that. People need to hear that. They need to be recognized. They need a little bit of attention.
Right.
And sometimes you give 2 minutes to somebody and you change their world.
Right.
Literally change their world.
Yeah.
And I try to do that, especially when you're in Eretz Yisrael, you have soldiers, kids. They don't have a choice.
Right.
They don't have a choice. And they do it with often the heart, open heart,
Right.
and they're protecting us.
True.
They're protecting our
And you are changing the world, Yankie.
And I would
you
love
are
to sit
helping the
down and
world.
speak to Bibi if you
Bibi,
want.
yeah. For me, it's Amradam. I'm just saying.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, he calls me here and there, but I just don't have the time. Anyway, Yankie,
Yeah, Shaifullah.
thank you so much
My pleasure.
for doing this. This was, you probably noticed that I'm in the zone, yet present, but I'm in the zone. You took me to nice places, and I appreciate your time.
You're very welcome.
I love this. Guys, please reminder to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Both Yankie and I would love to hear your feedback. And as I
We
always
want to
say,
hear your feedback. We want to hear recommendations. If
Right.
anybody has a nice Jewish girl, or Ellie, he's on the market. He's looking, right?
yes,
Are you looking? You're available?
Yeah.
He's single and he's ready to mingle. He is.
Thank you, Yankie.
And
Appreciate it.
You have a massive audience here. What do you have now? 7 million people watch this a day?
So it's interesting. Not 7 million a day, but millions throughout the month on different platforms and stuff.
There's got to be somebody who knows
I
a
know?
girl for you.
No, there is. Absolutely, there is. In the right time, and
And
maybe
he's
I'll
looking
go
for
to
it. Now is the right time, no?
Yeah, it is.
If you're not serious, then
I
don't.
feel
Because we're going
ready.
to have now 1 million people looking for a girl for you.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Should we say what I'm looking for?
Yeah. What are you looking for, Ellie?
I'm 26, so I prefer someone my age or younger.
Okay.
Chassidish.
You want to go out with somebody older than you?
I wouldn't prefer. I mean, if it's 1 or 2 years older, I think that's maybe okay. But I would, generally speaking, I would prefer a little bit younger.
What if she's older but immature?
No.
Okay.
And I'm looking for someone that's Chassidish. I always say at least Chassidish mindset. Yiddish speaking, because that's my Mamelution. And
You want to
and-
speak to her in Yiddish?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and she should be able to understand Yiddish. My family speaks Yiddish. At the end of the day, it's an important language.
So maybe it's a
If
good
not,
thing
it's-
if she doesn't
not, it's a-
speak Yiddish.
Yeah, I know, but if not, it's a barrier. For some people, they use that. But most of all, to me, it's the most important things is a happy life and growth. I feel like I enjoy life. I try to live on the edge. I try to do fun stuff, and I feel like I'm spiritually connected. I feel like I'm a fun personality. I like action. I enjoy life. I always say,
You know what you should do?
I enjoy life.
You should travel. You should go on a plane.
Right? No, I will. It's a shame.
He thinks he's action and enjoys life.
I did travel to some places. Just I went with you to Vegas.
You like going to Vegas?
I loved it.
So you come again?
Yeah, I would. No,
There's
absolutely.
hesitation.
I'm okay. I know I'll be okay. I'm just saying. It's just. But so yeah, that's what I'm okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. And if you're listening to this, you can also feel free to check out many of the other podcasts and episodes that we're doing. This is episode 49 that we're doing. by the way.
49.
49. Yeah, the next one.
We waited for 50. It's a
Right.
nice number.
And yeah, and so check it out if you're listening to this on Chalamoid. There's many vlogs that we have, a full channel of vlogs. I release every month Shabbos a vlog. If you want to get connected with me to my WhatsApp, the link is going to be in the description. If you want to get connected to Yankie, I'm going to put his number in the description, or a website or email, whatever way to contact Yankie. And remember that when you see one of the guests that we had on the podcast, give them feedback, tell them that you saw them on the Positivity podcast and that you enjoyed it, because they enjoy hearing back. And as I always say, if there is enough questions that we get in the comments, I will try to hunt Yankie down and ask him for a follow-up podcast, because that's what we usually do.
My number's the easiest one to find.
So yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you. And if this was released on Chalamoid, I get moed.
A freilichen Yantiv.
Oh man, thank you.